And we're back. So today we're talking about a notice to vacate. And essentially, we're going to talk about a commitment to break your commitment. Now, how does that make sense? Well, if you're going to go with the notice to vacate, your notice to vacate should be what the courts refer to as an unconditional demand for possession. Your notice to vacate shouldn't be wishy-washy. If you want them to leave, you should say unequivocally, get out. It should be very, very clear. If you're wishy-washy, the court could say, I don't think the threat of eviction is present in this notice. You ask them for rent, you tell them that they're late, but you don't ever ask them to leave. Now, sometimes some courts are going to say, well, across the top it says eviction notice. And that might be good enough for some courts, but it's not explicit, right? Does it mean eviction notice? You are on notice that an eviction might happen. Your notice should be specific. It should say, if you don't leave, I'm going to evict you. And here's the simple reason. Ambiguity in the law. Ambiguity is always constructed against the person who sent the letter. So if I'm unclear as to what I mean, the court's going to hold that against me because I'm the one who wrote the letter, right? And so ambiguity can't be in my favor because otherwise I'd write everything ambiguously. And I would just say, Your Honor, I'd like to stand by the interpretation that best suits me. Courts don't do that. In fact, they do the exact opposite. If your if your notice to vacate is unclear, and, for example, you use the word might or may, I might evict you, or you may be subject to an eviction, that's enough for the court to say you didn't demand possession. You were suggesting things, but unless you made an unequivocal demand, absolute, concrete, no other way to interpret it, you said, get out or I will evict. The court has the right to take your notice and throw it out the window. And so to prevent that, just be direct. Your notice to vacate is a notice to them saying, you're done. It's time to leave. Pack your bags and go. Now, I would suggest you would say more artfully than that, but that should be the point, and it should not be subject to interpretation in any other way. If there is wiggle room for interpretation, that's where things go wrong. And maybe it doesn't go wrong in the first court, maybe it goes wrong on appeal, and you got to start the whole process over. And that's where real problems start. If you get your notice to vacate right from the start, you shouldn't have these issues. All right. Take care. I'll see you later.